build up our discussions on these positive directions. So let me discuss with you the fundamental terms. In the field of academics, whom do you consider to be an outstanding person? Obviously, someone who is a knowledge creator. Whom do you call a knowledge creator? Somebody who is able to add new piece of knowledge. How do you add a new piece of knowledge? When you introduce a new theory or when you introduce new knowledge, then you are classified as knowledge creator. A knowledge creator is somebody who is adding to the field of existing knowledge. In the field of, in any field of research, in any field of knowledge, we know for sure that there are some people who have given some theories they have given. And those theories become iconic. They become very, very prominent theories. And therefore, they are considered to be very important. Each one of us is capable of contributing and preparing knowledge to the fields of management or any field, whomsoever we are evolving. So let us understand one thing. What exactly should be your role as a teacher? You will be respected, you will be admired if you are able to introduce some theory, introduce something through which you become knowledge creator. This should be your goal. This should be the ideal objective of your life. That yes, I want to be a knowledge creator. I want to contribute one theory. I want to be known that yes, I have given this theory. This should be your goal. So keep that goal into mind and keep in mind one thing. The entire world needs knowledge creators. Those disciplines which are not yet present fully developed will be developed only by people like you. You see, if you look into our history, if you go back to let's say 100 years or 200 years, we did not have management as a discipline, right? 200 years back, we did not have management as a discipline. 200 years back, we did not have renewable energy as a discipline. 200 years back, we did not have sustainable development as a discipline. Some people started writing about them. Some people undertook research on these subjects. Some people introduced quality research material on these subjects. And these issues, initially they were topics for discussion. Then a lot of people started writing about them. And over a period of time, these became full-fledged disciplines. So those subjects which did not have their existence, they became full-fledged subjects. I'll tell you, in the field of management, digital marketing was just a small topic 1 decade back. It did not exist earlier. So 1 decade back, it was just a small topic. Slowly and slowly, people started writing about it. A lot of people started contributing, and research was started. And slowly, from a small topic, it became a subject. From a subject, it became a program. And today, some institutions are offering programs on digital marketing. The credit goes to all those who have contributed to development of this subject. In 1980s, we did not have the word called social entrepreneurship. Only a few small talk was started. A few organizations like Ashoka Foundation started thinking about it. There was not much of writing. Then it started social entrepreneurship. The word started. When I did my PhD in social entrepreneurship, the word social entrepreneurship was not in existence. So the word started, the word slowly and slowly, a few chapters on social entrepreneurship were written. Then slowly some academic writing started on it. Slowly and slowly it expanded. And today we have complete program on social entrepreneurship. Credit goes to the knowledge creators who added to this subject. So those people who are adding to the field of knowledge, they must be respected. They are playing a very important role. They are playing a very important role through knowledge creation. So I request all of you to be knowledge creators. You should contribute to the field of knowledge. You should contribute it by creating more knowledge. A discipline which is yet to evolve will grow because of people like you. You will contribute to that subject. You will add more study material to that subject. You will start writing on that subject. Climate change is one such issue. You all agree, climate change will become very important field of study. It will become, it will require thorough study. There is a need of a lot of writing in this field. In management, about 30 years back, CSR word was not there. CSR means corporate social responsibility. Then people started writing about it. A few people wrote about in popular newspapers. Few people wrote on newspapers. Then a few chapters were written. And today it is evolving as a complete subject itself. So CSR, corporate social responsibility, has become an important thing. So if we are a part of a society, a dynamic society, the society is changing. There are new challenges before the society. There are new issues before the society, and we have to prepare for those challenges. The task of the researchers is to enable the society to move forward, to adapt to the transition and prepare itself. You have an important role to play. You have to start a research in a field which will enable you to contribute substantially. If you take up a research in a sector where already a lot of researches have already taken place, what will you do? Nothing much. But then there are some sectors where research has yet to start. The beginning has yet to take place. The world requires you. So you should start writing. You should start undertaking research in those fields. How do you start? You should start by writing first for popular newspapers, then for popular magazines, then for journals, then for case studies, and then insights. You publish your insights. The flow of the writing is like this. What exactly is writing? Writing is something that is there in your mind, a thought process. You give it a shape, concrete shape, so that you are able to pass on a thought from your mind to more and more people around. And believe in it, when a subject or a field of study is evolving, a new subject, then initially it doesn't have a lot of technical words. It's very simple. It's for everybody to join that field. It's so easy. Over a period of time, there are technical words. There are some technical jargons that emerge in this subject. And then you have technical journals coming up. A journal is something which everybody cannot read because there are some technical words. It is written it is written for somebody who is already having a little bit of expertise in that subject. because it is permitting you to use technical words. It is permitting you to use very, very specific jargons. What do you want to what is your goal to publish? If your goal is to disseminate knowledge among common people, then you have to write in popular newspapers. If your goal is to communicate with your peers in other academic institutions, then you should choose a journal and publish it in your journal, in that journal. Journal is read by people from a particular discipline only. For example, Harvard Business School. Harvard Business School is publishing Harvard Business Review, HBR. Harvard Business Review is read by those people who are in the field of management. It is read by professional managers. It is read by management scholars. It is read by researchers in the field of management. So if I wish to communicate with them, if I wish to share my insights with them, then I should publish in Harvard Business Review. But if I wish to communicate with doctors, then Harvard Business Review is not the right platform. Then I should take up that journal which is read by doctors. So my communication will be with the doctors. If I wish to communicate with agricultural scientists, then I should publish in a journal which is focused on agricultural scientists. Okay, so then that will be read by agriculture scientists. That is why a journal means you are communicating with somebody who is already an expert in that subject. But if you want to communicate with common people, then what should you do? Then you should take up popular newspapers. You should publish your articles or research papers in popular newspapers. But remember, there's a difference between popular newspapers and journals and magazines. Popular newspapers will ask you to write in very simple language without using any technical jargons. So you have to minimize technical words. Make your article as simple as possible so that everybody can understand it, everybody can read it, everybody can follow it. If you publish your article in a newspaper, for example, Economic Times or Business Standard or Times of India or Hindustan Times, it will be a popular article. It will be using non-technical language. But if you publish in a journal, then it will be using very, very technical language. I personally believe that if you have undertaken a research which can really benefit common people, you should get it published in a popular newspaper so that more and more people can take advantage of it. But if your research is such which is still in the field of which is still evolving, which is still in the beginning stage, then probably you should publish in journal so that it can help other researchers. You have found out a piece of knowledge, but the research is still not conclusive. You expect that more and more research should be undertaken in this field. Then what should we? Obviously journal. You publish it in journal. So when you publish in journal, other researchers will read it and they will get benefit from it. Journals require your article written in a prescribed format. A format is there. What is the format? Somewhere in the beginning you have to write abstract. Then you have to write some keywords. Then first paragraph, which is something like introduction. Then you have to give little bit of literature review, means those people who have written before you, what they have written about it. That is called literature review. Thereafter, you have to start about what kind of inquiry you are doing, what is your research objective, what is the methodology that you are using, how you are undertaking a research, and then the discussions, findings, conclusions, and recommendations. And then at the end, you have to give references, all those people whose material you have referred. This is, in simple terms, this is the outline in which you have to publish your research journal. Popular newspapers do not require this format. Popular newspapers or magazines, they require you, first you should have an introduction, then you should give the body text, which should be in simple terms, without use of technical jargons, minimizing the technical details, a few pictorial graphs, pictorial charts, and then conclusion. You do not require any references there. You do not require any appendix there. So simple. Plus word limits. A popular newspaper article will be ideally between something like 500 words to 2000 or 3000 words. That's all. While if you are willing to get published in a journal, then it should be more than 4000 words, more than 5000 words. So we have to understand what is our target, for which we are publishing, what is our goal, how do we want to contribute to the world. Ultimately, there should be transformation in the world. The world should benefit from our writing. We can contribute a lot to the development of world through our writing. The God has given us immense power through our pen. Yes, pen is mightier than sword, and you have to prove it. You have to use your pen so that we can stop the use of swords. The pen is the most important instrument, and we all have to use it. We have to use the pen to bring happiness to the world. We have to use the pen to bring greater and greater peace, compassion, love in this world and change this world. So use your pen. Definitely, it's so powerful. You have to create a vision in your own mind, how you want the world to evolve, and you have to use the pen for achieving that goal. You might have a fundamental question in your mind. How do I advance in my career? See, in academics, we use performance indicators, which are called academic performance indicators. And in academic performance indicators, the name may be different. Somewhere it is called API, academic performance indicator. Somewhere it is some other term. Ultimately, you get extra points, you get extra value for your ability to influence the world, which would take place in the form of publication of of your papers in journals, publication of popular newspaper articles, publication of impact-making articles, publication of case studies, publication of books, publication of monographs, and other study material. The more you contribute, the more points you get. So your goal is to acquire more and more API, academic performance indicator, which is dependent on your ability to influence the world, which is dependent on your ability to change the world, to create an impact on the world. If you happen to create a positive impact on the world, well, you get higher API, higher points, and that is what we want. So start by taking up a topic, a field of study which will be very important in the years to come, and where you have acquired ability to contribute. Everybody cannot contribute in every field. You have to identify your own strength, your own passion, and accordingly pick up a field in which you can contribute something new. Some people get some opportunity to contribute something. One of my researcher was posted in a small city called Suratgarh. Now, Suratgarh is a very small city in northern Rajasthan. Now, he had a limitation that he had to be in Suratgarh, and within staying there, he had to do his research. For you, it may look like a weakness or a constraint, but he converted it into an opportunity. In Suratgarh, there is a big thermal power plant. So he requested the thermal power plant to give him the permission to impart training to the employees working in the thermal power plant. And the people in Suratgarh, the thermal power plant thought, if somebody is coming and giving free of cost training, and somebody is competent enough, it should be granted. So they forwarded his application to the higher authorities, got permission from government of Rajasthan, that fine. Somebody wants to give training, let him conduct the training. No problem. So he had prepared his syllabus, he prepared his detailed contents, gave it to the Suratgarh thermal power station, and then it was approved by government of Rajasthan, and he was allowed that you can conduct the training. So what he did, before conducting the training, he took an assessment of all the employees on certain parameters as per the behavioral science, and found out the overall employee loyalty, employee sense of commitment, employee sense of motivation, employee sense of belonging. All these aspects he measured, and then he conducted a comprehensive training program. And after the training program was over, he again measured these parameters, which I just discussed, like sense of commitment, sense of involvement, employee engagement. These values he again measured. He studied before, he studied after the training program, and then he compared the two findings. And there was a huge difference. And he was able to see amazing change in the employee's attitude, employee's performance. And based on this, the authority of Suratgarh Thermal Power Station gave him a letter of appreciation. And the person who did all this exercise, he was able to get very good research publications, very good quality publications. He earned his PhD based on this contribution, based on his ability to transform an organization. His insights were published in journals. He published his insights, his experiences of organizational transformation. What were the learnings? Those thoughts which were not there in earlier times, he was able to share them. I would say he made a great academic contribution. He was not academician. This was the first research that he did, but the first research itself was outstanding research. And obviously, he got very good opportunities thereafter. He got a lot of offers from different universities to join as a professor. And obviously, after some time, he left his job and joined academics and became a professor. Now, this is a great opportunity. Every research is a great opportunity. If you are doing a research, you get an opportunity to transform the world in some or other way. When you are doing a research, you get an opportunity to contribute to the development in this world. Through your research, you can help the world. Through your research, you can help the mankind. Through your research, you can support the world. And that is the ultimate goal. You know, some journals are very particular. Some journals, some magazines are very particular. They want to publish only those papers which are actually contributing to the development of the world. If you have done a research for the sake of research, they will not publish it squarely. They will ask you, what is the impact of your research on the world? And that is very important. Some publication houses are very meticulous on this aspect. They want to spread positivity. If you write something which may spread negativity, they will not publish it. If you write something which can create positivity in the world, which can enable people to think positively, they will publish it. We should appreciate such publication houses. The publication houses are also trying their best to contribute to the development of the world. The publication houses are also contributing to development of the world. And obviously, those publication houses which are able to help the world will be obviously respected, appreciated, recognized. In the field of business management, Harvard Business Review has today acquired distinct prestige. It's very highly respected journal. Why? The answer is, it always publishes such papers which are trying to spread positivity, which are trying to help business managers, which it doesn't publish any article just for the sake of publication. No, it will publish only if that research paper or that article is able to significantly influence towards positivity. It will create a positive impact on corporate world. That is really important. If somebody did a research, let's say why bank employees are dissatisfied, you undertake a market survey, you go to the banks, ask the employees, find out the data, why bank employees are dissatisfied, why they are not able to get quality of work life. And you publish and you want to get it published in Harvard Business Review, they will ask you 10 questions. Why should we publish this thing? How will it spread positivity? How will it help the banks? How will it help the employees? Now, if you don't have answer to these questions, they will reject the article, your hard work. You worked hard, but the result is a big zero. What is the mistake? The mistake is you did not start with clear goals. You did not start with a very clear understanding of what you want to do. Therefore, before you start the research, before you start anything, start with a very clear understanding what you want to do, how you want to do it. A very clear understanding will help you. You will become a real important contributor. Yes, you want to become an important contributor. What should you do? Have a very clear vision, what you want to do. Fortunately, we have plenty of problems, and each of these problems can be solved through your contribution. If you pick up one small problem and contribute to it, contribute to it means you try to solve the problem. Well, the mankind will be thankful to you. And wherever you send your article or your journal or your contribution or your article or your research paper, It will be published, it will be read by people, it will create an impact. Yes, it will have true impact factor. That is what we require. If you write on a very important fundamental issue and you bring path-breaking insights, absolutely new knowledge, your article will be referred by other scholars for many years to come. For next 50 years, people will refer your article. For next 50 years, your papers will be referred. You will have very high citation. Citation means when other people are citing your paper in their references. When other people are writing an article, they quote your research paper. When other people are writing their literature review, they give example of your paper. They say this person has done a great research. This is a very important research, and therefore your contribution is cited by many, many people. This is citation, and this is very important. The more citation you have, the more academic value you get. The more and more citation you get, the more and more impact factor you get. The more citation you get, the more and more academic appreciations you get, value you get. That is something that is very, very important. Remember, your ultimate goal is welfare. You are also contributing to the well-being as much as possible. If you write something, and because of that, the world is changing through your research, look at it. You are playing a very important role for the development of the world. A group of scholars from United States started study on poverty. And they started, undertaking research in a practical aspects on poverty, how to end poverty, and all those things. They started writing about it. They started contributing about it. They were able to influence the policy makers of the world. They were able to influence the governments. They were academicians, but their research contribution was such that it was able to influence the governments. And ultimately, they got Nobel Prize. That's amazing. So when you do something, a research is what? A research without any intention is useless. A research with a clear objective to help the mankind, to help the world, is something that is bound to be respected by everybody. So do a research for helping the mankind. Look at Muhammad Yunus. Amazing contribution. What he did in Bangladesh, he started small experiments. He found a few beggars, and being a researcher, he asked those beggars, why did you stop making bamboo furniture? You were selling bamboo furniture earlier. Why have you now become a beggar? Then he came to know that the banks do not give them small loans to buy bamboo. And those people are in a very tight condition. They are unable to buy bamboos. And so they are unable to continue their business. Muhammad Yunus, from his own pocket, gave them 1,000 taka to those beggars, asked them to organize themselves, and asked them to start the activity of preparing bamboo furnitures and all those things. And it had an amazing impact. Yes, those beggars converted into entrepreneurs. And through these series of initiatives that Muhammad Yunus took and converted in an organized form of institution, he was able to change lives of more than 2.5 lakh beggars. Yes, more than 2.5 lakh beggars converted into entrepreneurs. Professor Muhammad Yunus deserves salutation. His amazing contribution deserves salutation. Yes, he got Nobel Prize for his work. Great professor indeed. Yes, he is a great professor. So greatness is when your research is transforming the world, when your research is changing the lives of common people, when through your research you're helping the mankind. Yes, you are a great person. You are a great person because through your research, the mankind is growing. Today we have so many fundamental issues. People are poor. Why they're poor? People are unemployable. Why they're unemployable? What can be done? We have paucity of infrastructure. We do not have green sources of energy. What should be done? The city life, urban life is becoming hell. What should be done? Governments have neglected villages. What should be done? How can village life become profitable again? What should be done? How should we help mankind in fighting the tragedy like Corona? What should we do to save aquatic life? Animals are dying, birds are dying, they are becoming extinct, and aquatic life is in danger. It's all because of plastic. It's all because of pollution. My dear friends, such hundreds of questions are there, and nobody knows their answers. If you start research to give answers to these questions, the mankind will be thankful to you. These questions cannot be answered quickly. You have to dig data, you have to collect data, analyze them, and give their answer. You will earn another Nobel Prize if you give answers to these questions. Because what is research basically? In research, you collect data, evidences, support the data, evidences with a thoughtful analysis, and give to the world answers to very, very complex questions. And when you contribute to the problem solving, when you give an answer with due data, due facts, you are solving a very big problem that the mankind is facing. Look at it. Aquatic life is in huge danger. Yes, it is in huge danger. Every day, lot of aquatic species are becoming extinct. Annually, thousands of aquatic species become extinct. We will not be able to see them again, never. Thousands of innocent fish and other living beings will become extinct soon. Who is responsible? Human being. Their life has become impossible because of the waste that we have disposed in oceans. The plastic waste that we have disposed in oceans is killing thousands of aquatic species. Aquatic life is in tragedy. What should we do? What should we do? This is a very important research question. And if aquatic life will end, mankind will also, the life of human beings will also end. Simple. If aquatic life will end, there will be chain reaction. And due to these chain reactions, ultimately, who will suffer? Mankind will suffer. Other living beings will suffer. And ultimately, it's a suicidal path for us. So what should we do? The answer is not simple. It requires a lot of researchers. If you are one of the researchers who can solve this problem, if you are one of the researchers who can give a timeline of the future and steps to solve this problem, you will earn another Nobel Prize. Your research and your publication will be an eye-opener for the entire world. There are hundreds of such questions, dear friends, hundreds of such questions. We need researchers to delve into these issues and help the mankind. Every researcher is on the path of a Nobel Prize. You are on your path of Nobel Prize if you are on the right questions, if you are hitting on the right questions. The most important questions that will determine the fate of this universe, if you are picking up those questions and answering those questions, you are on the path of earning a Nobel Prize. So pick the really important questions. Pick up the really important questions. Have a very clear goal. Look, you have to devote your time, precious time, resources, maybe about 4,000 hours, 5,000 hours in next 2 years down the line. Why don't you contribute them to the most fundamental problems that the mankind is facing? Why don't you contribute your time and energy towards the most fundamental issues that are confronting the mankind? Well, those 5,000 hours will be able to bring answers to some very important issues. That is, you will be on the path to earn another Nobel. One important research can completely transform our future life. If some of you can bring a substitute to plastic, or if some of you can show the timeline of impact of plastics on mankind, and through your data analysis and presentation, you can change the future. And because of your researches, the governments are forced to ban plastic, introduce new innovations, or encourage industries to introduce some new innovations. Well, the entire mankind will be thankful to you, and probably your contribution will be immense contribution. Your research, your publication will change the future of this world. So your pen is mightier than anything else in the world. Use this pen to completely destroy all nuclear weapons. Use your pen to completely destroy all forms of emanations and destructive thoughts. Yes, if you will use your pen, yes, there is an NGO which raised its voice against nuclear bombs, against use of nuclear bombs, against chemical warfares and all those things, and they got Nobel Prize. Yes. So therefore, if you use your pen and bring to this world data that, look, if the governments had spent this money on development of people rather than spending these money on nuclear bombs, on destructive things, the world would be different. Therefore, all individuals, raise your voice to completely remove nuclear weapons from this planet. I tell you, this one piece of research will completely change the future of mankind. Yes, thousands of poor people, crores of poor people rather, will be thankful to you. Because their poverty today is because of the wrong policies of the governments. If you find anybody poor, if you find anybody hungry, remember, the governments are responsible for it. The wrong policies of the governments are responsible for it. If somebody is dying due to hunger, the wrong policies of the governments are responsible for it. Because they are spending money on nuclear weapons. The nuclear weapons cannot feed anybody. Then why are you investing money in them? So somebody from among you should come forward, use the pen, and use this pen to change the future. Every one of you is going to contribute to the world in some form or other. You decide one problem on which you are going to attack through your pen, and ensure how you are going to use your pen to bring a change in this world. Thank you all.